sitting, and I think we did a similar practice last Wednesday where we'll do a lot of kind of little sways and rocks and jiggles within most of the poses, just in order to experience them a little bit differently. So I find it's quite nice on the nervous system. So let's come sit, and I'll suggest a cross-legged seat unless that's just no-go for you. And then we'll have the hands on the knees, and let's come to one side, and you'll let the forearm and elbow come down, and then you'll come forward and then the other side. And so it's these circles that we do all the time, but we'll add in kind of a push-pull element. Yeah, and this corner right here is a little bit echoey, isn't it?
Yeah, I was talking to Jerry Sunday about this whole place being a little bit and what to do about it.
Yeah, when I faced the other way, it wasn't so much, but you know, it's all right.
I meant to talk to my husband about getting some acoustic boards.
Soundproofing, yeah, go the other direction.
Yeah, we could just put some acoustic panels.
Or, carpet's always nice.
Yeah, that helps too, and they look nice. Great, so let's let the movement just very gradually settle down. Coming back to center here, and we'll sit for a moment. So you can have the eyes open or closed. And as we arrive here, bring your attention to your own spine, spinal column. And notice there if you sense any sort of movement happening naturally as you breathe. And it's likely to be pretty subtle, so not a huge movement. And notice if this is primarily happening in one part of the spine or the whole thing, or in maybe two parts. See if you can sense where it's happening the most. And also where it might not be happening at all. And this will be oh so tiny here. See if you can allow movement through the entire spine. And when I say movement, I'm thinking almost like you're in water, just sort of being moved by the current. So it's really subtle. Yeah. And then let's create a larger movement here. Maybe the eyes open. Kind of shift forward and create a little lift through the chest, and then shift back and come down. So almost making a little bit of a circular pattern. Great. And we'll pause here, and we'll change the way the legs are crossed. So you've got the other one in the front. And now earlier we did these circles. This one will be kind of similar, but up a little bit higher. So let the chest just take a little bit of a side to side. And now we've got kind of a wave going this way. And then from here, let's come back into those circles again, but we'll keep it focused more on the upper part of the spine. Yeah. And then let's take a few rounds the other way. Great. Let the movement start to quiet down. The bug's trying to come back out again. It got stuck here. And then take the arms up. Let's go over to the right side here for a side bend. And then we'll add in the right elbow can kind of soften and then press into the floor to create a little bob. Yeah. Great. And then let's push into the floor a little harder to come up. Take the other side, so over we go, and then same thing, just kind of a little ebb and flow. Yeah. And then this one we'll press a little harder to come back to center. Take the fingers on the front of the shoulders. And as we make these circles here, likely there'll be some movement going on in the spine as well. And just let that continue to happen. Great, let's go the other direction. And same thing, let there be movement in the spine as the arms and shoulders are great. Pause here. Let's take the arms out and up. And then reach the right arm a little more just so that you come into a little bit of a side bend. Stay here and contract through the muscles and almost like your body is taking a big yawn. Yeah. And then we'll do the other side. So reach the left arm up a little higher and then just kind of contract whatever muscles you can there and let that travel through the body. Let's do it one more on each side. And this sort of movement is called pandiculation. Animals are much better at it than humans, I think. Especially like lions and big cats. All right, let's release. And we'll take the legs out in front. And just give them a little shake out. You can give them a little jiggle, a little wiggle. Yeah, good. And then from here, we'll spend a bit of time on all fours. So let's spin around. And of course, feel free to have padding if you need it for underneath the knees. And as we set up here, let's take a little bit of kind of a side to side shift in your weight. And as that's happening, remember that that little wave pattern side to side in the spine. Let that happen as well. Good. And then from here, friends, you might need to either walk the hands a little forward or the legs a little back. Keep the side to side going as we shift back towards child's pose. I don't expect us to go all the way down. And then same thing here, a little side to side as we come forward towards upward dog. It's just kind of like a lazy one, so we won't go too far in either direction. Yeah. Great. And let's just take a couple more pass-throughs. And then eventually here we will go all the way back to child's pose. Feel free to widen the knees as much as you need. And once you get into position, we'll go onto the fingertips, little spider fingers, and we'll keep that idea of the side to side going here. Yeah. And then let's let the movement settle down. Reset the hands. So you're just palms to the mat. Press down into the floor. Let's round back. First coming to your cat pose. And then continue forward. The chest lifts. And then we'll lift up to round back. Either all the way or part of the way to child's pose. Feel free to tuck the toes under. So let's take that one. So this is a big wave forward and back. Just moving through the spine the whole way through. Nice. Now from here, let's meet the next time we come forward, and you can come all the way down to the belly, or if you're not going down onto the belly, you'll come into this position here. So if you're on the belly, let's come onto the forearms. Let yourself just kind of drop down for a second, and as you inhale, press down into the floor. Try to drag the arms back as the chest moves forward. We lengthen to lift, and then on the exhale, let yourself drop back down. So take that a few times. Inhale, we lengthen to lift, and then back down. Yeah, if anybody's in child's pose here, when you lengthen, you can lift the elbows a little bit. If you're on the belly, we'll keep the elbows down. Great job, friends. Let's pause here. The next time we're in the up position. As we lower down, we'll reset. If you're on the belly, hands just right underneath the shoulders. Let's press back and up into downward facing dog pose. Yeah. And then from here, bend the knees a little bit, and let's kind of get into that side to side little wave, little sway. The legs might naturally want to kind of pedal out here. You can bend and straighten. And let's gradually step the feet a little bit wider until the feet end up about mat's width distance apart. And then we'll keep this idea of that little side to side going as we start to crawl the hands back to the legs. Just let it be a gradual process. And then once we get there, we'll prop up for the forearms right on the thighs. Let's keep that little side to side going here. Yeah, the weight will shift on your feet and that'll travel all the way up through the spine. The head will take a little side to side as well. And then eventually here, when you're ready, you can press down into the heels and use that pressure down to lift yourself all the way up to stand. Arms lift, legs lengthen, arms release back down. Yeah, let's stay here, keeping this kind of wide position, soften the knees a little bit. And then the right shoulder will take a little roll up and back. And as we do, let the chest turn to the right. And then the left side does a little roll. Exactly. So take that a few times and let the movement begin in the shoulder, but then it really travels through the whole spine. And if it feels good or necessary to lift the heel or move the feet a little bit, that's fine too. Yeah. Good. And then we'll keep going and just gradually step the feet in a little bit. If you want to come all the way together, you can. If you want to stay about hips distance, that's fine. And then once you get back there to center, we'll pause, soften the knees, and just take a little bounce, a little jiggle, with the weight more in the heels. Yeah. And then in a second, we'll go to plank pose, and we'll try a jiggly plank. Does that sound fun? I think it sounds like fun. So let's let the jiggling settle down. We'll stay here right at the back of the mat. Bend the knees a little bit, and then on the inhale, re-lengthen the legs, lift the arms, sweep up. Exhale, down we come, bend the knees on the way down. Let's take a few of these hands to the shins. Inhale the chest forward, little wave through the spine. Exhale, we bend the knees and bow down. Taking that a few more times, letting the spine be the star of the show here. Great. Next time we come down, we'll stay. And from here, friends, we'll head into our plank pose. Now, if you're skipping plank today, take all fours, and you can take that little side-to-side shift. If you're in plank with straight legs, let's find that little bounce, little jiggle in the feet, and just see if this changes your plank experience at all. Yeah, it's kind of fun, isn't it? All right, we'll let the movement settle down. And then from here, friends, we'll come on down to the belly. So you can get there any way you like, or if you're taking the Caroline version, you'll go to child's pose. This time, arms come back alongside you. Now, same idea with the shoulders. Can you lift the front of the shoulders away from the floor? As we inhale, lengthen the spine to lift. Arms and legs come up. And then on the exhale, lower yourself back. Taking that a few more times. Inhale, we lengthen to lift. Collarbones are broad, upper back is engaged. And down we come. Yeah, take that a few more times. Now, if anybody's doing the child's pose version, it's a little harder to access the upper back here, but be sure that you are. Great. Let's pause here the next time we come down. We'll reset the hands so that they're right under the shoulders or forward if you're in child's pose. And then we'll head back and up into our downward dog. Once you get there in position, you'll soften the knees and find that little bounce again. Yeah, and then keep the bounce going. Shift slightly to one side, slightly to the other side. That a couple of times back and forth. Great. And then from here, friends, let's settle in the middle. Come to the front of the mat this time, so feet to the hands. Little halfway lift once you're in position. Bend the knees, come back down, press into your heels, and use the inhale to grow tall. Arms lift, legs lengthen. Exhale, the arms come down just alongside you. Yeah. Let's stand in that somewhat wide position again. Just be a little wider than you normally stand. A little bend in the knees. Take the right arm forward, across, up and back. And then the left arm forward, across, up and back. Yeah. So similar movement as before, but now it's a little bigger when we're lifting the arms. If you want to lift the heel of the arm that's moving, that might feel better for you. Good. And let the spine be as much a part of this as the arm. Great. And then from here, friends, let the movement settle. We'll just come back to center. Reset yourself. For our next sequence, you might want to have blocks. If you've got them, just set them up, and you might need a blanket when we bring a knee down. So take what you need here. And then from here, let's stand at the front of the mat, feet just about hips width distance apart. Little bend through the knees, shift the hips back, press into your heels. And as we inhale, we rise. And we'll lift through the chest at the very top. Exhale, we'll bend the knees and come back to chair. Take that a few more times. Inhale, we rise. And exhale, we descend. Inhale, we rise. And exhale, we're down. From the down position, hands to shins. Take your halfway lift, engage through the upper back. Lower it down, let's step the right leg back, knee to the floor, lunge pose. Yeah. So at first, let's let this movement be just in the spine, really the upper part of the spine. Move the chest forward, find a little lift at the very top, and then just let that back off. Yeah, so we can do this on the inhale. Forward and up, little lift, and then let it go. Forward and up. Now this next one on the way back, let's shift the hips back, go straighter in the front leg. And take that a few more times, still keeping that little lift at the end of the forward movement. Yeah, good. Now from here, friends, the next time we shift forward, let's stay in that position. And instead of the forward back spine, let's do that little side to side, that little side wave. Yeah. I could do this one all day. Now from here, we'll let the movement start to quiet down. We'll stay with the legs, bring the torso up. Let's take the arms out and up. Grasp the right forearm. Up we go at first, and then little side bend to the left. Yeah. And then we'll come back to center, undo the arms. Take the hands in front of you and do a little bit of a push. There's another fly. And then a little bit of a pull. Take that a few times. I still need like 10 more grams of protein today. So. No, I know, that's a lot of flies.
And the big ones, not the little ones.
Yeah, no. I think I'll stick with a quinoa or something. All right, guys, let this one settle. Let's take the arms down. Tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee, lift the back thigh. Let's move the blocks if you're on them. And then we're going to do another plank with some movement. So go ahead and get there. And of course, if you're not planking, you can put the knees down and do either all fours or plank on the knees. Let's do that little side to side shift again. Oh, in the plank pose. It's interesting. Yeah. Keep it going as we shift up and back to downward dog. Take the feet as wide as you like or narrow. And then from here, let's settle and come to the front of the mat. We'll stay low down once we get there. Hands reset to the shins, little bend in the knees. Inhale is our halfway, move the chest forward. Exhale, take it down. So the whole spine gets to do this little wave again. Nice. Great. Next time we come down, let's do left side back. So the knee comes to the floor. We're going to stay pretty small here, just in the upper spine. As we inhale, the chest moves forward, find that little lift. And then the exhale, we back it off a little bit. So take that a few more times. And if you're finding the spine is just really stuck and not moving, you'll likely want to go a little higher. And if that's still not high enough, make a little block tower, bringing the arms to the inside of the front leg, and that should do it. Good. Let's add on here when you come back, you'll go straighter in the front leg. And don't forget the movement in the spine on the way forward. Yeah. Great. Let's pause here. The next time we shift forward, we'll stay in the position and then do our little side to side. Yeah. Great. All right, let's pause here. And then we'll come upright in the torso. Arms will take that little sweep out and up. Let's grasp the left forearm first. Up we come over to the right. Just a small side bend here. Yeah. And then we'll do our little push-pull. So come back to center and then do a little push and a little pull. And as we do that, we find, again, that little wave, but it's more concentrated in just the upper spine. The lower part's not moving too much. Yeah. All right, nice work here. Let's pause. Release the arms down, tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee and thigh. Let's then move the blocks here. And now we'll do a big wave through the whole spine. So from your plank pose, let's lift, round the back, shift into downward dog. And then you'll round the back all the way forward and pull in. Once you get to plank, then you'll re-lengthen the spine. Yeah, so we lift, we round to go back. And lift, we round to come forward. Take a couple more of those, and if anybody would prefer this version instead, we kind of did a similar one earlier. Feel free to do that at any point. You can drop the knees down. Good. Let's pause here the next time we come forward. And everybody bring the knees down. We're coming down to your belly, and then from there we'll lay on one side. If you're in the room here, let's roll onto your left side. If you're at home, just pick a side. Yeah. And then you can bend the bottom knee a little bit just for balance. Bend the top knee here and hold on to the foot or to the ankle. You can bring it as forward as you need to. And then let the knee draw back, and the chest kind of rolls towards the floor a little bit. And then the knee draws towards you, and you can roll a little more towards your back. So just kind of a little rock quad stretch. Yeah. And Bill told me he had really, really tight quads. So we'll see how this goes for you. Yeah. Now let's pause next time the knee draws back. Option to stay here, or option to straighten the bottom leg and roll more towards onto the belly, keeping a hold of the leg. Yeah, so we'll just stay in this position and really just kind of hold here. Now see if you can feel just the tiny little natural movement that happens in your spine as you breathe, as we hold on to the leg. Yeah, this is the subtle one. Great. And then from there, friends, release the leg. Just take a little wiggle on the belly, just kind of a little jostle back and forth. And then we'll roll over onto the second side here. Just gonna spin around. And you can have the bottom leg bent or straight. I like it a little bent just for balance purposes. And then we'll bend the top knee and hold on to the foot or the ankle. And this side's tighter, back and forth we go. And feel how the whole body takes a little bit of a rock as the leg is doing this thing. Yeah, I heard that noise. Who's that? Okay. Next time the knee draws back, we'll stay. Feel free to stay here on the side. If you're coming to the belly, you'll want to straighten the bottom leg first. Yeah. And then we'll just hold the position. Breathe. And just notice what's happening naturally without you prompting it. Great. And then go ahead and release the leg. We'll stay on the belly and just, again, create a little jostle, a little wiggle. Yeah. When you're ready here, we'll press back into downward facing dog pose. Take your time to get there. Yeah. And then from your downward dog, let's meet at the front of the mat. So the feet to the hands, bend the knees, press into the heels. Use the inhale to grow tall. And exhale to bring the arms down. Yeah, let's take another just little bounce. Bounce, bounce, bounce. And as you're bouncing, you can just add in a little bit of that sway. Somebody was telling me this reminds me of like being in a jacuzzi. All the bubbles everywhere. All right. So from here, friends, let's settle down. You might want blocks for the next bit, so just have them handy. We'll start at the front of the mat. Hands just right here at the top of the pelvis. Let's step the right leg back with the toes tucked under and the back knee and the front knee both bent. So it's a lunge pose, but it might feel like a slightly shorter than usual stance, yeah? So we're going to take that push-pull that we did earlier with the knee down. And you might find a little more movement now that the back leg is lifted. Good. Let's pause here. Lift up through the belly. Go straighter in the back leg. It doesn't have to go all the way straight. Take the arms up, and we'll do the side bend again. Grasp the right forearm. Up we come, and then a little to the left. Yeah. We come back to center. Separate the hands, lift the pelvis a little, and turn the back hand to the floor. We're coming to warrior two, and you might need to just wiggle a little bit to adjust. Yes, we'll face this direction. And then once you're in position there, go at first classic warrior two. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. And then let's soften a little. So you can even bend the back knee, soften the elbows. And then from the spine, we'll go a little towards the front leg, a little towards the back leg, and let the arms just kind of be a part of that too. Yes, sea monster warrior two. Yeah, on Halloween I do this to the monster mash. You guys, we're getting there. Halloween is coming.
Gotta get to the brutal summer.
Yeah. All right, let's pause here. Let's go classic again. We straighten the leg, lengthen out through the arms. And then let's take this. On the inhale, straighten the front leg, lift the arms. Exhale, hands come to prayer, rebend. Take that a few more times. Inhale out and up. And exhale, bend. One more time. And then let's stay in the bent knee position. Take the back hand to the back hip, the front arm forward, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen to come down. Now, in a sec, we'll go to triangle pose. So wherever you need to be for that, I'm grabbing a block. You could have hand to shin. Press the front heel into the floor and try to press it forward as you lengthen the leg. And then on the back leg, press into the heel and try to press that one back. Yeah. Now let's keep the hand to the hip. Turn the chest a little towards the floor. And then from here, find kind of that, it's almost like a side wave. We turn the chest towards the ceiling and then back towards the floor. Yeah, so take that a few times. It's kind of a little sidewinder. Yeah. Next time the chest turns away from the floor, let's pause and lift the top arms. Classic triangle pose. Continue to press down and back through the back leg heel. And now let's take the arm overhead on the diagonal to lengthen a little more through the right side of the body. And one more time, can you turn the torso away from the floor? Yeah. Great. And then let's look down at the floor. Rebend the front knee, lift the back heel. Set the back knee down. And then walk the left foot wider and bring the arms to the inside of the leg. Yeah, perfect. Now this time we'll take some circles. So around we go. Great, go the other direction. Around we go. Good. And then from here, friends, let's pause. Walk the left foot in a little bit. Tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee. Let's head straight into downward facing dog. And then a few options. You could just stay in down dog. You can stay in at a jiggle or a little sway. If you wanted to do the dog plank dog, those waves, that's an option too. So just, stay firm a few breath cycles. If you'd rather take a break, that's fine. Come down and have a little rest. Yeah. Alrighty, friends. Let's pause here. Next time we're in down dog, or if you're doing something else, you can get there. And then we'll meet standing forward fold. Any way you'd like to get there is fine. Little bend in the knees. Press into the floor with your heels all the way up. They come. And then the arms come down. Yeah. All right. Let's stand here, feet either hips width or a little wider if you prefer. Hook the thumbs kind of butterfly style. Bend the knees at first, and then all at the same time. The hands pull up, the heels press down, the legs re-lengthen. Let's go a little to the right. And then up. And a little to the left. And up. And then down come the arms. Yeah, if you're not at the front of the mat, let's get there. Hands right at the top of the pelvis. Left leg comes back with the knee bent, both knees bent. And that's it. And then we'll find our little push-pull in this lunge variation. Yeah, finding that little wave through the upper part of the spine. For many of us, this is a part of the spine that actually doesn't want to move so much. So here we are. Yeah. All right. And then let's pause here. Take the arms up. Lift a little through the belly. Go straighter in the back leg. Let's grasp. Sorry, it's the left one. We pull up and then over to the right. Little side bend. Yeah. So I'm going to have my back to you for this next bit. Let's come to center. Separate the arms. Lift the pelvis a little. Just turn the back heel down. And just make a little adjustment so you can have a good warrior two stance. Yep. So at first, just go classic. And then soften a little. Yeah. From the spine, we go towards the front leg and then towards the back leg. Yeah. Sea Monster Warrior 2. And don't think too hard. Just kind of let it happen. Good. And then let's pause, go classic here. On the inhale, we'll come up straight in the front leg, hands meet. Exhale, rebend, warrior two. Take that a few more times. Kind of warrior two legs, hands are in prayer. Yeah. Good. Next time we bend the front knee, let's pause. Take the back hand to the back hip. Hinge forward and send the right arm out towards the wall in front of you. Lengthen first, and then hand releases down either to a block or to your shin. Let's press the right heel down and forward to start lengthening the right leg. Press the left heel down and back to keep the stability on that side. And then the chest will turn a little towards the floor. And then we'll make that kind of side wave as we roll towards the ceiling. Taking that a few times. Yeah. Good. And then let's pause here. The next time you're turned away from the floor, take the top arm, reach it up. That's it. Press again into both legs into the heels. And then let's take the top arm, reach it forward and out on the diagonal. And at the same time, can you turn the torso towards the ceiling? Yeah. Great. Let's look at the floor. Bend the front knee, lift the back heel and set the back knee down. Walk the right foot a little wider and take the arms to the inside of the front leg. And we'll take a few of those circles on the second side. Great. Let's go the other direction. You got it, friends. Pause here. Reset yourself. Walk the right foot in a little bit. Tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee. And then let's set up again into start in downward facing dog. And then your choice. You can hang out here. You could come to plank. You could add in any of those jiggles. You could add in any of those waves. Back and forth. You could put the knees down. Yogi's choice for a little bit. Yeah. And then if you're up for another plank, let's meet there. If not, doing what you're doing. And if you're here in plank, we'll find that little bounce. And then add in a slight little side to side while you're taking the bounce. Good. And then back to center we come, downward dog. If you're still bouncing the way, that's fine. Let's meet in standing forward fold any way you want to do it. We'll bend the knees, press into the heels, use the inhale to lift. And the exhale to bring the arms down. Nice job, yogis. All right. So, we haven't done wiggly tree like in a really long time. I think today would be a great day for it. You know, how could we not? So, wiggly tree is just a little different from a regular tree because we're moving around. Let's stand on the left leg. Right leg comes up. And then away we go. Yeah? Think about the movement in the spine, as well as the movement in the limbs. Yeah, and then we're going to freeze. Don't hold your breath on the freeze, but just hold the position. And then we'll go again. Same thing. Freeze. Oh no. Yes, and then 2 feet on the floor. Oh, it's a lot of work for the standing foot, isn't it? Yeah, if you need to shake it out a little bit, just take a second. All right, friends. Side 2, right leg is down, left leg is up, and away we go. Oh, fine. Whoa. Freeze. Oh, this was a hard one to freeze in. And then go again, go again. I like being the one who can call the freeze. Yeah, freeze. And then done, 2 feet on the floor. Oh, yeah. You need to shake out the right foot a little bit. Take a second. Nice. All right. So let's do this. Start with just kind of a side to side up top, and then let that start to move through the whole body, the whole spine. Yeah, it might feel necessary to lift and lower either a heel or a whole foot. That's fine. Great. Okay. And then from here, friends, let's pause. Reset yourself. We'll do one more little kind of moving sequence from the front of the mat. So go ahead and join me there. Blocks if you need them. I would actually use blocks here for this one. Yeah. All right. So from your mountain pose, let's step the right leg back, kind of like we did before, but this time the heel is down on the floor. And we'll take the arms up. And it's a little bit awkward, I think, in your back leg, but see if you can take that wave, this time with the arms kind of up. Yeah. Good. And then we'll pause, press into both legs, especially in the heels as we rise, and stay long and lifted as we bend the front knee. Yeah, so warrior 1, if you need to adjust your position a little bit, you can. And then from here, friends, let's reset. Hands come back to the top of the pelvis. Come forward, but not down. Find the length first. Yes, and then the hands come down. I'll suggest, if you're on blocks, go one notch higher than you normally do so that you can find, again, that wave through the spine. Yeah. And then from here, allow the front knee to bend and straighten at your own, you choose when you want to do that. Good. And then we'll pause with the leg when it's your version of straight. Yes, stay here. For most of us, we naturally will tend around here. Can you move the chest forward? Find the length. Find that little lift. And then maybe go down. Yeah? If you want to do that a few times, go ahead and do. If you'd rather stay either up or down, that's fine. Or if you'd rather go back to the knee bend version, you could do that. Yeah, great. Next time, and so if you went down, let me rephrase. Let's come back to that kind of halfway position, the chest moving forward. Now we did something similar in triangle pose earlier. Let's do it here in revolve triangle. Put the left hand to the left hip. And then from here, we'll turn the chest a little to the left and then back down again, chest to the floor. So do that a few times and let it just kind of roll through you back and forth. Yeah. Now I'm going to keep doing this. If anybody wants to here, on one of the times where you turn open, if you wanted to come more into a classic revolve triangle, you could. I'm going to stick with this little wave. Yeah. Great. And then if you did that, let's come down, put the hand down. We'll step the back foot forward, bend the knees, press into the heels, inhale to grow. And exhale, arms down. Side two, same thing. Hands to the hips, left leg is back with the heel down on the floor. And it's okay if it's a little short, you can lengthen it later if you need to. Let's take the arms up and then just kind of soften through the joints as we take our little forward and back with the arms overhead. Yeah, a little different, isn't it? If anybody needs to take a wider stance too, sometimes that feels more stable. Good, so we'll pause here. Press into both heels, lengthen. And now let's bend the front knee, coming to warrior one, and if you need to scooch the foot a little forward or readjust your position a bit, take a second. Yeah. Let's take the hands back to the tops of the pelvis. Shift forward to come down. And I'll recommend blocks just a little higher than you normally go. We'll start to move through the spine. Same thing we've been working on. And then just on your own, feel free to bend and straighten the leg whenever it feels appropriate for you. Yeah. Good. And then let's pause next time the leg is straight, or your version of straight, something that you can maintain. Notice if naturally you're rounded in the back, can you move the chest forward, find that little lengthen to lift, and then back it off, and go again. Now feel free to stay kind of in this up version, or if you'd rather come down, that's an option too. Yeah, so just take a few moments here. Doing your little spinal wave. And then for those of you who did come down, let's reset back into this sort of halfway position. Right hand to right hip. And then let's move the chest forward first, and then find that little wave to turn, and then de-rotate. So just very gradually. Yeah. Now you choose if you want to stick with this or if you want to ultimately end up in something like revolve triangle. Yeah. Or you could do, you could make up a new pose if you wanted to. Great. Okay. And then if you took the arm up, let's put it back down. Bend the front knee a little bit. Step the back foot forward. Root down to rise up. Come to the sky. And then down we come. Let's take fingers on the shoulders and take these rolls again. Slight bend in the knees and let it really move through the whole spine there. Yeah. And you can keep this direction going, or if you'd like to go the other way, you can. Great. All right, friends, from here, we'll let that one go. Release the arms. We'll spend some time sitting. Let me show first, and if you wanted to, you guys in here might want to turn your mat the other way. We'll be sometimes here and then the other side. It's like the floor just doesn't feel good on the feet. Yeah. Before we get to that position, let's sit in sort of like a lazy Baddha Konasana. Yeah. Yeah, we can make a circle. That could be fun. And then I call this the Mr. Tippy Baddha Konasana, so just take a few back and forth. Yeah, and now this seemed like a good idea at the time, but now the rights and lefts might get messed up. So just when we do it, we'll pick side one and side two. Yeah. So next time you rock to side one, take the other leg out to the side, and then pull the bent knee, the foot in a little bit. And now from here, we'll take circles, and we'll sort of move into the resistance of the straight leg, but then we'll move out of it. So we never stay for too long. And some of you might have like a pretty big circle sweeping in and out like that, and then some of you might be pretty small. It just kind of depends on where the resistance is. Yeah, did we go both ways? Let's go the other direction. We didn't do that. Good. Now in a second, we'll change the pattern a little bit, and I'll give a few options, yeah? So if you really love doing the circles, keep doing the circles. If you would like to come into more of that kind of forward back wave, you could do that either in the direction of the straight leg, or you could try it in the middle, in between the two. And they'll give different sensations, so it really depends. And you could also do something that's kind of in between the two, like do a little, almost like a little side wave, or coming kind of back into something like the circle. I know some folks as students love to be told exactly what to do. Some love to have a little more leeway. So today is one of the classes where I'm not going to tell you exactly what to do. All right, friends, from here, let's pause. Pause. Whatever leg is the straight leg will be sweeping that same arm. So the arm comes across, we find a little lift, and then we undo. Let's do that one more time, just that. Now, option to keep doing just that. Option to put the foot on the floor, the other hand to the floor, lift the pelvis. And we come back down. So whatever you're doing, let the spine be a part of it. So it's not just the arm. Yeah, it's a full body experience. Let's take last one, whatever version you're doing. That's it. And then you'll take a little lean towards the bent knee side. Pick up the other leg and come back into our Mr. Tippy Baddha Konasana. Yeah, take that a few times more. Did you get a bug too? You know what? Remember that song, Maybe I Need to Swallow a Spider to catch the fly. And then go to side two, and then we'll stretch the new leg straight. Oh, this is my tighter one. Yeah. And then let's just start to ease into it via the circles. For me on this side, I just need to do smaller circles. That's just the way it is. I'm gonna get that one stuck in my head. I'll spare you. You don't know it?
I know.
Oh, you know it, yeah. I'm like, oh, I can sing it for you. Go the other direction.
Please no.
No, I won't. But
No offense to your singing, I just don't.
You know, there's a whole series.
I know. Perhaps she'll die. Like, that's not nice. Especially for children.
She swallowed a horse.
Yeah. Did she swallow a horse at the end?
She swallowed a
Of
horse.
course.
She swallowed a horse.
Yeah.
And she's dead.
And then she's dead. That's terrible.
And it's in my head.
And now, sorry, Jill. Sorry, Jill. All right, let's pause.
So what's
Yeah.
you ask for?
And then if you wanted to take the wave either over the straight leg or in the middle or somewhere in between. Yeah. And your wave might be more circular, it might be more sideways. I'm not going to tell you what to do here. All right. And then whatever you're doing, let's start to let it kind of settle here. Yeah. And then whatever is your straight leg, it's that arm. that takes the sweep. And then we unsweep. And even if you're not lifting the hip quite yet, see if you can still find the movement in the spine. Yeah, and then whenever you're ready, if you want to come all the way up, you can. If you don't want to do that, just stick with the down version. Good. And then this will be our last. Come back down. We'll lean towards the bent knee side, pick up the other leg. Mr. Tippy Baddha Konasana. Yeah, just a few of those. And then we'll reset, coming back to center. Let's stretch the legs out in front and just give them a little Basana. Yes. And then we'll come down onto your back. We'll do some windshield wipers, and we'll do it kind of with a spinal focus. So also gather any props that you know you'll want for Shavasana, because we'll get there soon enough. Have the knees bent with the feet kind of wide on the mat, and arms either out to the side or up by your head, or just kind of out of the way of the legs. And then we'll let the knees drop to the right, and then to the left. And just keep that pattern going back and forth. But instead of thinking about what the legs are doing, can you tune into what your spine is doing? Yeah. And maybe the head is turning opposite directions. A little more of a twist. Yeah. And then from here, friends, let's return back to center. And take the feet not so wide, just in a little bit. Take the hands to the thighs and give a little press. Hands straight ahead into the legs. Yeah, and then we'll back off of the pressure. Take the legs long on the floor, and I'm going to scooch back so my feet are on the mat. And we'll press the backs of the heels into the floor and do a point flex, but it's not just the feet that are moving, it's creating kind of a jiggle through the whole body. Now, remember when we did those little bounces? It's kind of like that when now we're laying down. Yeah. And you'll just take that for a few more moments. And when you're ready to be done with it, the movement will start to subside, the driven movement, but you might still feel an energetic movement going on. As we're heading into Shavasana, I am going to turn off that overhead light because it's my bright. So. And as you start to settle into your position here, let's take one more little breath check-in. No need to change your breathing. Just notice the natural movement that's happening in your spine. And it might be almost nothing. See if every time the exhale comes, you can just drop down a little more, relax a little more. And then even that idea, let that go and just allow yourself to simply be here for the next few moments. And bring your attention back to the body. I'm not thinking about the inhales. As the inhale comes, just see if you can send your energy or your awareness a little more outward. Create any kind of movement that you like. Whenever you're ready, let the knees bend and just gently roll over to one side. Yeah, take your time from there to press up to sit. We'll meet there. And if you're anything like me, maybe there's still that little inclination to take a little wave, a little sway, or a little bounce. Thank you for playing this evening. Namaste.